There were many challenges of Western movement. For example, scarce food and disease ran rapid in most parts of the West, and the amount of people moving didn't help it either. For example, the Johnson family decided to move west after Oliver Johnson served his time in the Civil War. After trekking from northern Virginia to the southeastern corner of Michigan, Oliver contracted tuberculosis and died. So even if you made it all the way to where you were going, your chance of survival was slim. As families moved westward in creaking-covered wagons that slowly made their way by cracking whips that made their way to the western hemisphere, more than 500,000 people left the eastern part of the United States to make their way west to find gold, more fertile land, or just to gain land. The gold rush to California added to the rush of immigrants. Westward movement varied from land, cheap land, or just gold. In the summer of 1861, the Harker family of Oklahoma left for the Colorado Territory to start a new life with their 2 kids. They settled on the South Platte River. In 1863, the year of their 3rd child's birth, Mr. Harker died of his ongoing illness and left a newly widowed Miss Adeline to tend to 3 children and 160 acres of land used for farming crops and keeping livestock. This is just one of the families who were able to start with new beginnings by gaining free land in the Homestead Act in the 1860s and 70s. During the times that America was still young, women were not very respected. But during the second westward expansion in the 1860s and 70s, women discovered that in order for their settlements to survive, they must do the same work men do, and they gained both more rights and more respect.
Comstock Lode is an ore of silver located in western Nevada. The ore is located on Mount Davidson's Peak. The Hess family has been mining there since the ore was first discovered. Greg Hess, who lives there now, is actually a descendant of someone who was killed in the Great Yellow Jacket Fire of 1869, which was considered to be one of Nevada's worst mining accidents at the time. During the westward expansion, African Americans who fled the southern United States for Kansas along the Mississippi River in 1879 and 1880 were called exodusters, most of which were slaves. Their reason for doing this was due to the racial oppression and rumors of the reinstitution of slavery. This was known as the first general migration of blacks following the Civil War. Morrell's experience as a young man made him realize the need for education in everyone's life. Morrell left school when he was 15 and noticed how hard it was to make a living. The reason he wanted the land grant to succeed so badly was because he wanted everyone to have a college so that they could all have a chance to get a good life. He had the determination to make a difference and went for it, which made a part of the westward expansion a more lively place. So what was it like to live in a sod house? Some people found life in a sod house unendurable. Others felt like they were on top of the world. It is difficult to judge the way of life by today's standards because each person looked at their life in a slightly different way. On the day she moved into her new sod house, Maddie Oblinger wrote to her family back east. She only had minor complaints about sod house living and seemed excited by her life. The Oklahoma Territory was a place where all settlers could go and obtain land for cheap prices. Major controversy arose because people were hiding out before the land sale, and they would come out and take the land for themselves, causing those who actually waited to feel betrayed. So even if you made it all the way and waited like you were supposed to, you were not guaranteed any land.